Hey everybody, it's Zane Miller. I'm the YouTube and video marketing expert. I'm sitting here with Jason Fladlin, and he has an opportunity that I thought was so great that we needed to stop everything and do this hangout. He's actually put a multi-million-dollar business on hold just so he could focus on this one opportunity. And when he told me that he was stopping making $1,500 an hour, I was like, okay, no, we got to back up and we need to do this hangout right now. So let me go ahead and introduce Mr. Jason Fladlin.
Well, thank you for having me here, Zane. And yeah, we'll be selling vacuum cleaners door to door. That's the opportunity today, right? No, not really. Here's what's very interesting that I've discussed. So if you don't know who I am, or even if you don't know who Zane is and you stumbled upon this some way or another, here's what you should know very quickly about me. I sell internet marketing stuff to internet marketers, and it's kind of an interesting industry. Very lucrative if you do it right, and bonus points if you have ethics and values and stuff like that, because that's actually a competitive advantage in our market. And so people buy a lot of product from me, and I make a lot of money, as Zane says. And the thing is once you get to a certain level in your business where you are just banking it, there's this thing called opportunity cost that kicks in, and it's the challenge of if I take any time or attention or anything away from something that could make me $1,000 or $1,500 an hour, it's going to cost me. So if I spend 5 hours not doing those things, that costs me $6,000-7,000 bucks. And so if something comes along and I have to say, whoa, hold on a second, let me put on and pause this cash cow over here so I can start from the beginning, start from scratch, just like everybody else, and start building this. It has to be very, very good. And I want to preface this, and this is what I was telling Zane, to get him excited about this initially when this first came about. So I want to preface it with this. Now let me reveal the curtain and show you what I'm talking about here. It's this thing called Amazon. Ever heard of it?
Yeah, a few times, right? One of the biggest companies in the entire world.
Yeah, and it is the largest e-commerce retailer in the world. I don't know, and I really don't care how much billions they do per year. That doesn't really interest me. What interests me is Amazon has these services that they allow you to take advantage of. So if you're an internet marketer, they use this thing called, what is it, S3, Zane, where you can host your videos?
Yeah, Amazon S3, where you can host everything, and I love it.
So what happens in that scenario is Amazon has excess inventory, so to speak. They have all this hosting and this bandwidth and all this good stuff, and they say, hey, we can probably make a buck reselling this to other people, and it's the same data and infrastructural thing, blah, 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 that we use ourselves, so they kind of double dip. We'll build this, we'll use it for us, and we'll sell off the extra space because we built this amazing infrastructure. Well, did you know the same type of infrastructure exists for physical products? So where if I had my own private labeled, just for me and me only type of product that maybe I've manufactured somehow or another finagled, I could send it to Amazon. Amazon would sell it for me. Amazon would ship it for me. Amazon would fulfill that for me and take care of the first level customer support for me, and then they would only charge me like a 15% fee, and the rest would be mine out of pocket after I minus off all the cost involved with creating this product, right? That's called fulfillment by Amazon. Also known as FBA. And by the way, what's cool about using FBA is, say somebody's an Amazon Prime member. So Zane, are you a Prime member?
I am. I love that 2-day free shipping, right?
And that's the brilliant thing about it. Prime members get 2-day free shipping regardless, as long as whatever they buy is bought through Amazon, right? And so fulfilled by Amazon qualifies for 2-day shipping. So we don't even have to worry about our customers paying shipping costs. We only pay one shipping cost, and that's to ship our product to Amazon. That's it. And you would not believe how amazingly cheap. I think we could ship like 50 to 60 to 70 pounds of stuff to them for like $10.
Wow.
And that's our like shipping cost to fulfill that inventory to sell it on Amazon. Now, when I immediately told you this concept, Zane, what was the first thought that you had as far as a barrier to entry of taking advantage of fulfillment by Amazon? What kind of popped in your head?
Well, the first thing, okay, if everything else is taken care of, then what product should I start with?
Yeah, and you think immediately, and this is what most people think, is, that's all fine and dandy, Jason, but one big problem, I don't have my own private labeled physical product. I don't own a manufacturing plant, right? I get it, okay? I hear you. And no, you and your mom and your dad don't have to sit in the garage somewhere and manufacture it yourself and build stuff by hand and send it to Amazon, right? would you believe that there's a whole industry out there that specializes in the concept called private labeling? And if you've heard of private labeling before, typically, like when I service the internet marketing crowd, when they hear private labeling, they think of what we call the PLR products, where some ghostwriting nerd somewhere, probably from India, is paid a couple bucks to do research and create a supposed information product or a set of articles or whatever. And when it's done, somebody goes out there and sells it to like 100 or 200 or 300 people, and they say, hey, you can put your name on this, you can do whatever you want with it, and you can keep 100% of the profits, right? That's what typically people think with private label. But did you realize the same exact thing exists for physical products? So I can take, for example, I got these paper clips here, and they come in this box, right? I could take these paper clips, and I could call somebody somewhere on the phone. I guarantee you, within a few days, I could get my own private labeled version of paper clips and be selling them on Amazon. And so you see this code right here. This is a barcode. It's called a UPC code, unique product code. We would get our own unique product code. And what does that mean? A unique product code means that I and only I can sell under this brand. That's why it's private labeled. And so I won't have any competitors who are also selling under this brand. And I can call these, and for any product that's worth selling on Amazon, you can find a private label for it. And so the funny thing about this is, have you ever seen this, Zane? You go to Amazon and it'll say, buy this now, and it'll have this thing called the buy box, and you can click add to cart or one-click checkout or whatever it's called. But there's sometimes a link underneath it that says, also, 36 new and used for cheaper price, right? Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I have seen that. I've been kind of curious about what that's all about.
Yeah, and so the reason that occurs is because in some products there can be multiple resellers, okay? So a lot of different people can resell a product. So for example, if I buy something, I can go to eBay and I could resell it. I have that legal right, you know? So like if I buy a Dungeons and Dragon home box set, and I'm super excited about it, and then on one day I realize I don't like Dungeons and Dragons anymore, I can go on eBay and I can sell that, and I can get whatever price I want. I legally am able to resell the product, okay? Now I could take that same product and resell it on Amazon. And so when a lot of people talk about FBA, they talk about goofy stuff like this. Hey, go to Goodwill. Find these little printer ink cartridges that they have at Goodwill and buy them for like $1. And then go to Amazon, ship them to Amazon, and sell them for like $15, and have Amazon fulfill it, and you're a reseller of ink cartridges, right? The problem with that, I mean, well, there's two problems with that. First of all, I don't know about you, Zane, but the thought of me going and trolling Goodwill and Salvation Army, I would rather work for somebody else and make a steady income than doing that, right? But beyond all that, the problem with that is anybody can really resell anything. And in many cases, you're fighting for what's known in Amazon as the buy box. So that thing, and who shows there? Who gets to sell? It's prominently featured. Because I'll tell you, 9 out of 10 people do not click that little hidden, 36 used and new options, okay? So you're going to be one of those other people that are fighting for that if you're a reseller. But let's stop. Remember what I said? If you private label stuff, you're the only one with the UPC code, and you're the only one that can authorize resellers. And guess how many resellers we authorize for our physical products that we sell on Amazon?
0.
0. So that means we and only us get the buy box 100% of the time for our listing, and we don't have any direct competition with our product. We only compete with other similar products. So you say, okay, great, now we're in business, right? We're all done. I mean, that's the opportunity, right? Wrong. Because what's another hurdle that we have to cover, Zane? I mean, or what's something else that pops in your mind and say, okay, Jason, I bought into this process where I can get a private label product, I can get it going, I can send it to Amazon, I pay one shipping cost one time, which is to ship, you say I got 100 of these, or 500 of these, or 1,000 of these, or however many I've ordered to get my private label put on them, and I've sent them to Amazon. I paid the shipping cost one time, and now I'm in business, right? I mean, well, what are some other hurdles we have to deal with here?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is, okay, all those other things are taken care of, but does that mean people are going to buy my product?
Yeah, right. There are in any given category. Now, Amazon does something very interesting. I haven't quite figured out why they do this yet, but they do it like this. There's this thing called bestseller rank. And what is bestseller rank? In any top level category, as they refer to it, which is just a fancy way of saying Amazon has these categories which they consider like supreme category of categories. So beauty, for example, is one category. there's a whole bunch of them, and the cool thing is we can do a search here, and all you got to do is Google bestseller rank Amazon, and you can probably find it very quickly. Okay, so I found it. It's actually at amazon.com/best-sellers/ZGBS, whatever the hell that means, right? And on the left-hand side, there's all these departments. And so these are examples of top-level categories. There are appliances, as an example, beauty's one, like we said, automotive's another one, clothing's another one, home improvement, home and kitchen, patio, lawn, and garden. These are all top-level categories. Now, what's funny is any top-level category, you can see the top 100 bestsellers in that category. So, for example, if we go to home and kitchen, we can see the first one is this stainless steel trash can. This thing is the best seller in all of Amazon in home and kitchen, right? And then we see there's this blender bottle. Interesting. And then there's vegetable slicers number 3 at the time of recording this. Some sort of pitcher, water filter things number 4, and it goes on and on, right? Now, in any given top-level category like home and kitchen, if you had to guess, saying how many products do you suppose, unique products, meaning that products that have a UPC code are on Amazon that you can buy right now just in home and kitchen alone?
Oh, there's got to be into the thousands. These tens of thousands of products.
Hundreds of thousands.
Wow.
Okay, and I know this because typically when we get a product first listed on Amazon, it'll say like bestseller rank in the category 362,000th, right? And we're like, wow, that's a lot. You know, I wish that was dollars because that's a lot. You know, and so in any given category, there's hundreds of thousands of unique products. And what I mean by unique is not, I mean, there could be 150,000 different stainless steel trash cans, but each one of them has a unique product code, meaning that there's only one person who can authorize the sale of that and the resale of that on Amazon, right? And so there's a lot of products on Amazon. So just because you can get it to Amazon, just because you can get a private label, just because you can, put it on Amazon where somebody can buy it, doesn't mean that somebody will buy it, okay? So then the name of the game becomes, well, gee, how do I get somebody to buy my product? Well, there's 3 factors you got to take into consideration. Factor number 1 is positioning. Why should they buy your product as opposed to the 5 million other different products that they can purchase in your category or even on Amazon in general, right? So there's the positioning. So remember that, Zane, because we're going to touch on all of these. The second thing that you have to do here is the ability to be found. Okay, so we call this the search engine. So unlike Google search engine, where you go to google.com and type in stainless steel trash can, and who knows what you're going to get, and how hard is that to rank, I don't know. But if you go to amazon.com and type in stainless steel trash can, what do we have there?
Lists of trash cans.
We have search results. We have a search engine. So I'm going to type in stainless steel trash can right now, okay? And here's what's funny. The specific way I've done it, 2,644 results. So there are at least 2,644 unique product codes that are selling on Amazon. There's actually more. They just quit listing it after that. There's 16 results on the first page here, right?
Right.
And so if you were on page 1 of stainless steel trash can, do you think that would make you some money?
Yeah, I mean it seems like an innocuous, you don't think about item, but it's an important enough item that there's enough people who are always buying a trash can on a daily basis. I mean, whoever's ranked high is probably making a good chunk of money.
Well, the good news is we don't have to guess because we can look at the first result, which at the time of this is this 9-star DZT. By the way, 9 stars, huge brand, right? Not really, okay? And this has a bestseller rank of 1,213 in all of home and kitchen. So this is easily a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month income stream here. And they're number 1 and number 2. Number 3 is simple human rectangular step trash can. Okay, and what are they ranked here? They are ranked 1,485th in home and kitchen, right? The big dog seller that was number 1 in all of stainless steel trash cans doesn't even show up in the first.
That's right.
So you say, well, hold on a second, Jason. I don't get that. Well, we'll get to that in a second. But what about this? If we go down a little bit, there's this thing called Tramontina, which, by the way, I've never heard of, right? Right. And it's a step can rectangular waste bin with freshener system, 13 gallons, aka a stainless steel trash can, right? Now, here's what's interesting about this. This is on page 1. This is ranked about 9th or 10th. I'm not going to count it around there. But guess how many reviews that they have?
Um,
8.
8.
8 reviews. So why is that important? Here's why this is important. You say to me, Jason, how hard is it to get ranked on Amazon for a competitive keyword like stainless steel trash can? Well, the proof is in the pudding. Obviously, somebody with only 8 reviews of their product probably hasn't been here for very long, right?
But they're still competing with the big dogs on the first page.
On the first page.
Ah.
And they're a no-name brand. I mean, maybe you've heard of Tramontina. Probably not, though. We're not
Yeah.
talking like Glad trash bags here, right?
Right.
And how is it that they're able to get on page 1, even though they only have 8 reviews for a keyword? Because, by the way, stainless steel trash can, how long do you think it would take you to get on page 1 of Google?
Oh, geez. Off the top of my head, at least 4 or 5 months. If you
If
got
you
some
did
really,
everything right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, how good of quality of traffic would you get as a result for that? Is everybody who is going to Google, are they looking to buy something?
It would be terrible traffic. I mean, no, there's all sorts of ways that you could be using the word stainless steel trash can that has nothing to do with buying a trash can.
Yeah, here's what we know about Amazon. It's a search engine for buyers. What's Google? It's a search engine for information seekers. Some of those are seeking information to buy, but not all of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if I had to choose between the two, I would much rather be ranked on the top of Amazon than the top of Google. Now, of these two, which do you think is easier to rank on the first page for?
I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say Amazon.
Amazon. Now, here's why, and let's break this down and dissect this. And you say, okay, why would Amazon be easier to figure out and rank for? Well, I'll tell you why. If we have to, I mean, what's Google's main priority if they want to return a first page result for a keyword like stainless steel trash can? What do they really want to do to satisfy their customer in terms of their search results?
They want relevancy. They want somebody to type something in and go, that's exactly what I was looking for.
Exactly. So they want relevancy. So they want to return that result that person is looking for with the least amount of clicks on the customer's part. So Google wins if their customers are happy, and their customers are happy if they're getting their information they want. Now, Google makes their money how? They make 99% of their money, and they publish this in their shareholder because they're a public company. They make 99% of their money on advertisement, right?
Right.
So Google doesn't have to sell the end customer anything. They just have to get the end customer continually going to Google, and they make their money on advertising, right? So keep that in mind. Now, the question to you, Zane, is what are some factors that we can use to determine relevancy? So we can say, hey, stainless steel trash can, this should be the #1 result because most people find this most relevant. I mean, what are we going to have to do to calculate relevancy? What are some of the factors we'd have to consider?
Well, we'd have to consider the website that the said trash can will be on, and the content that leads up to that, and every possible breadcrumb that we can leave for Google and people going through Google as clues of what this is about and specifically about.
Well, let me get really nerdy on you because I know some of the factors that Google measures. I don't know how important they are or what rank they are, and nobody in the world does, but something like this, bounce back rate. So if they search in Google for stainless steel trash can and they click your page, first of all, how many of them then immediately go back to the Google search results to look for another answer, right? And then what's the speed at which they do that, the velocity of the bounce back, right? And they calculate that, okay? But it gets crazier. Google has to analyze content that's on your page and do a variety of different mathematical computations to figure out what's on this page that would be interesting to people in these situations, all right? But it gets better because Google's even going to measure activity on the page itself. If they clicked on this page, then did they go to this page? How many clicks did they make on this page? How far down did they scroll on the page, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many other people are linking into this page and referring it for these variety of contexts? How many people on the social sites, such as Google Plus, are +1ing this or Facebook liking this? And there's a million little factors, and it's not an exact science by any stretch of the imagination, to determine something so ubiquitous as relevancy, right?
Right.
Now, Amazon. What does Amazon have to do to satisfy their customer? If they go to Amazon.com and they type in stainless steel trash can into the search results, what's Amazon's #1 priority that they have to do to satisfy their customer?
Is to display a bunch of high-quality trash cans. I assume ones that people are very interested in.
Yeah, Amazon's job to say is you want to buy a trash can, you're going to find it and you're going to find it quick from us. Because if you don't, you will go somewhere else and buy it and we won't make any money, right?
Hmm.
So all they really need to determine is what do customers like when they see as a result and what do they buy. Now, here's the other thing keep in mind. Okay, keep in mind this very important factor here. How does Amazon make money?
When people buy stuff.
So Amazon then determines, well, gee, people are happy if they're buying things and they're satisfied with those things that they buy, and if it doesn't take them long to find what they want to buy. And all we have to measure as far as relevancy to our goal is how many people click on the first listing versus how many that click buy, right? That's the main metric.
Right. Yeah.
And then number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. So like Google, they need data. They need lots of data just to be able to analyze your site and to find its place. That's why fresh sites on Google usually don't rank anywhere, because Google needs typically several months of historical data before they can even truly accurately gauge what the hell your site's about. They start with nothing, right?
Right.
Amazon, they start with no data too, that's true. But Amazon very quickly can find data, especially if you supply it to them in a certain way, which we'll talk about later, right? And they can very quickly see this thing's already listed and it's making money, and so there's no penalty for being new in Amazon. If you can show Amazon immediately that this thing is something customers are going to buy and they're going to freak out and they're going to convert really well and they're going to stay on this page and they're going to hit it and they're going to buy right away, right? Amazon can put you on page 1 in less than a week, and I've seen it before. 4 keywords even more competitive than stainless steel trash can, right?
Wow. All right. No, that totally makes sense.
So think about that for a second. Now we're going to come back to this in a little bit because there's a lot more to explore here. And there's actually 3 factors I have isolated, and only 3 factors that, at least as of now, you can rank for almost any competitive keyword on Amazon on the first page with the right approach. Now, obviously, you can't predict the future, so I don't know if it'll last forever, and your results might be different than mine, blah, 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 right? The whole point, though, is if I'm going to rank and get traffic and get exposure that way, why would I ever do it on Google when I could do it on Amazon?
Exactly.
Why, right? So that's what gets me really excited. And by the way, how many SEO experts are out there on Google?
It's an endless list, and it keeps growing.
Yeah, you walk into a mall and you say, hey, who here's an SEO expert? And then 50 people raise their hand, right?
Yeah.
Now, who is an expert at Amazon SEO? I mean, I know a couple people, and they all make a lot of money, okay? But that's not an industry even, right?
Yeah, nobody wandering around a mall saying, "Yeah, that's me." Right? So,
it's not an industry even.
Yeah.
Okay, because this is brand new. And just remember when Google AdWords and Google AdSense was brand new? What happened there? A lot of people had a lot of success, even if they were dumb, complete idiots, because the opportunity was there. And so this is what's really interesting to me now. Now, let's take a step back and let's remember when I said positioning is also important. And I don't mean search rank positioning, because say we get to page 1 one way or another. Why would somebody buy my no-name brand that they've never heard of before, that may be even higher priced than everything else on page 1, including known brands?
Right.
Why would they choose to purchase from me as opposed to somebody else? Why would they buy my stainless steel trash can? Why would they buy my silicone spatula? Why would they buy my baking mat? Why would they buy my yoga mat, right? By the way, these are all products that I know people are successfully selling to the tunes of tens of thousands of dollars a month on Amazon, right?
Right.
Why would they buy those from me as opposed to somebody else? Because, I mean, I'm just one little person that just started this business the other week or whatever, right?
Right.
Why would they?
Well, if I'm landing on that person's page, their product listing, I would think, well, wow, these pictures are telling me a story. There's something I'm really liking about this. Pictures, really, that's the first thing that my brain goes to of making a decision on buying something on Amazon.
Yeah, so there's a lot of factors. I think there's not a lot of factors involved. There's a few factors involved that carry a lot of weight. And so, for example, one of those is the product label that you put on it. So we say we got to private label this thing, right? So I got to get some guy somewhere to design a box for my private label paper clips, right? I got to get somebody somewhere to private label my USB speaker box that I can sell. And by the way, I know somebody right now selling one like this. making bank. I got to private label somebody to do for my USB cable or whatever, right? And we got to design something, whatever. If it's on a box, it's on a box. If it's like a cream and it's got a label and it's in beauty, we got to get a label on it, right?
Mm.
So Zane, you're no graphic artist. What the heck? What are you gonna do? You're screwed, right? You can't get a label designed.
No, yeah, I wouldn't. The first thing I would think of is find somebody else to do it for me.
Okay, yep. So there's three ways of doing the label. The first way is to go to Fiverr, and for $5 or $10, I have seen some amazing labels being designed for people. Now, the problem with that is it's hit or miss. Zane and I have hired people for video marketing on Fiverr, and you might as well
Mhm.
just like hire 50 people and hope and cross your fingers that one of them will kick, right? Because one of them maybe will work. So what you pay for in terms of savings, like you pay $5 or $10, you will make up for probably in time. So the second option is Odesk, which is a very good option, and you'll pay somewhere between 80 to $100 for a really good high quality label where they'll design everything. They'll design your brand, your logo, and your product label, and what have you, right?
Mhm.
We usually go to a place called 99 Designs, and we'll pay $300 to get our label designed, which is still very good, and here's why: because it's a contest that you run at 99 Designs. So 15 or 20 or 30 or 40 different designers will give you full-on done designs, mock-ups of what they would do if you hired them, right? And then you
Mm.
pick the best of
Right.
the best, and you're done. The whole process takes less than a week, and so from soup to nuts, you could have a product private labeled, and in less than a week, you could have a label for that product attached and fixed to it, right? And
Yeah.
that's awesome, okay? Because for less than $500, there you go. There's your answer there. So that helps with the positioning. But the other problem here becomes is like what's so much better about my stainless steel trash can as opposed to somebody else? What happens if I'm in a market where I'm literally almost no different than any other competitor that's out there? And I mean, we don't have to look any farther than all these supplemental markets. So if I'm selling raspberry ketones, huge market, by the way, very profitable market. I know people doing very well on Amazon with that raspberry ketones, right? The formula is almost always the same, okay? So there's no difference really between buying one thing on Amazon versus buying another thing on Amazon. In fact, sometimes I know guys getting them from the same private labeler, but they were putting their own unique their own label on it, and the guy that's charging more money is making more sales. Crazy, huh? So this goes back into positioning. So we need to get a certain type of label that screams out to the person that, ooh, this looks nice, this looks attractive, this captures my eye, and that's why I click through on your listing as opposed to somebody else, because you've got my attention. That's what we need on Amazon. We don't need a brand. We need to get attention. And then really quickly, if you say, okay, hold on a sec, Jason, we forgot about the private labeling aspect. How do you handle that? Answer: Google search. So Zane, I got you to get a private labeled product on Amazon. How did you find your private labeler?
I went to Google and searched for my product private label rights.
And then you
And
sent him an email or gave him a call?
yeah, yeah. Then I called it. There was a couple of them that I found, and I found the one that I liked the most. That would be the easiest for me to make things happen, and it was really as simple as that. It was actually way less intimidating than I was imagining it. Because to be honest, I was kind of slow to the game, so but I did it, and it was way easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah, don't be scared to pick up the phone and call somebody. So what you have to do is you Google search. So I would Google search, stainless steel trash can private labeler or private label or stainless steel trash can manufacturer or stainless steel trash can whatever. Okay, there's a variety of different ways that you can find a private label. And then I'd find the ones in Google. I make a little list of 5 or 10 or 15 potential options, and then I pick up the phone and call them. Now people get scared about that. I say, come on. It's not that scary. Would you like to make a phone call and make money, or stay poor and be comfortable, right? You'll be more scared of what a poor future will look like for you than the scared that you're
Yeah.
feeling today, right? But beyond all that, these are people who you're a customer to them. So when you call up a manufacturer and you say, hey, I want to private label this, right?
Right.
They're like, okay, let's talk. Because if you private label with them, they make money on you. Okay, so to them, they're happy they're eager, and they're excited to get your call. Okay, but the problem is this. I mean, gee, no manufacturer wants to deal with me unless I order like what we call a minimum order quantity or an MOQ.
Hmm.
Unless I order like 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000, right? Well, Zane, let me ask you this: what was your minimum order quantity when you got your first product on Amazon?
Mine was 100. And yeah.
100. Okay, and roughly, what was your cost then for your order?
That ran me about $550, and yeah, it was very very inexpensive. And actually, my brother and I were talking about it, and we're like, well, we could do like 25 units because they didn't have a minimum order quantity. I chose to pay 100, but I could
Bingo.
have done way less than that. But I was like, no,
Bingo.
I feel good about this, right? Bingo, right there.
So depending on what you're selling, some of them have high minimum order quantities. I'm not going to deny that. And you know what happens when we run into those people? We just say next, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I've isolated over 35,000 products on Amazon that I could sell, that I could make a lot of money with, that would be worth my time. Unfortunately, I won't be able to sell them all. I don't have enough time in the day. But the thing is, if one of those doesn't have a minimum order quantity of 100 or less, so I can get started for less than $1,000 with my own private labeled version of this product, I just say next, because there's a lot of them that have no MOQ, and there's some of them that have 50 or 100. Now keep in mind, Zane just said $5 roughly to $6 is his hard cost
Mhm.
for the product. Now what are you going to retail that at roughly on Amazon?
$45.
$45. So Amazon's going to take a cut. There's going to be some miscellaneous expenses that'll occur with that. But you're going to even be conservative. Every time you make a sale at full retail price, you're making what, 20 to 25 bucks?
Yeah. I think it was yeah, 22.53.
So the margins are very high. I kind of laugh because in internet marketing, we have the same margins. If we have an affiliate promote us or we promote something as an affiliate, guess what? 50%, right?
Hmm.
Zane's getting better margins in his Amazon business than he does when we sell like Tube Method to internet marketing. Crazy. And what do you think's bigger? People want to buy information products about how to use Hangouts, or people that want to buy a stainless steel trash can, or they want to buy a vitamin C serum, or they want to buy a kettlebell, or whatever, the millions of different products out there that people buy in droves every single day. Okay, so that this is great, because then you say, okay, Jason, but so what? So say I get my yoga mat, and I call the supplier, and I only have to order a minimum of like 100 to get started, and they're each about $4 or $5 a piece or less in some cases. I've seen products for $2 a piece. So I'm looking at maybe $300, $400, $500 out of pocket for the inventory. Maybe anywhere between $500 to $300 for the design and the logo, right?
Right, right.
Now, as far as shipping goes, and I feel a little weird saying this, our very first product that we sold on Amazon, I never single touched one time. Okay? Because here's what happens. In Amazon, when you use Fulfillment by Amazon, when you're ready to ship something to them, they will send you a PDF, a shipping PDF. And here's what I did. I took that email when they sent me that PDF, and then I sent it over to my manufacturer. And I said, hey, you, attach this PDF to my shipment and just ship it for me. And I literally never once touched that product. Okay? It went from the manufacturer directly to Amazon. I paid for the shipping from Amazon, and it was like $15, I think, $25. It was so small that it wasn't even worth thinking about, right? And we're in business with a product for less than $1,000 in overall hard cost, and we're ready to rock and roll on Amazon. I think that is incredible. And then now we go back to the same thing, because you're going to retail this product for about $45, right, Zane?
Hmm.
You got to be at the lowest end of the pricing spectrum compared to your competition, right?
Based on some savvy advice, I'm actually on the higher end of my products, which is totally counterintuitive to me.
It does not make any sense, okay? And I'll just tell you this, trust me, it works, okay? I could give you reasons why, but they're just guesses. Here's what I know. This is how, first of all, this is how do most people price a product when they want to sell it? And I don't care what it is. Any product that they want to sell on the market, whether physical, digital, anything, right? What's the pricing formula most people are using?
Find the lowest price product and then go a little bit less so you can get a lot of volume.
Yeah, and then the other way is they say, okay, who's selling at the low end, who's selling at the high end, who's selling in the middle, and then let me push it a little higher up than the middle price provider so I can make some money, right?
Right.
Those are the two main strategies for pricing that everybody does, right? Here's what we do on Amazon. We look at the highest end products as far as there's certain thresholds of what retailers will buy compulsively, pricing thresholds, and they depend on the market. But we say, what's the threshold of where we can get a compulsive buyer who won't think twice and they'll just buy it if it makes sense to them immediately. They won't have to think it over. What's that threshold? And then we say, who is pushing towards that threshold, and what price point are they at? And then we come in at typically a similar price point. I try to be the highest price provider in my category for my product. That still doesn't cross that pricing threshold. So in a lot of retail markets, if you just want a formula, if you stay under $40, you're gold. So my mind almost immediately always leaps to $40. Can we do $39.95 or $37.77, right? In certain markets, you can even go higher. And I always recommend this to people once they start selling and start getting some sales. I say raise the price. I say here's what it costs you. It costs you 1 minute and about 2 keystrokes, right?
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, it doesn't sell, and then you go back and take another 2 minutes with another couple keystrokes, and then you lower the price back to what it was, right?
Right.
But nobody comes to your house and beats you with a baseball bat because you priced it too high, right? And in fact, here's what we've experienced in the real world. People will call us because we actually encourage people to call us. You don't have to do that, but you will after you start making a lot of money. You'll hire somebody, right?
Right.
Or they'll write you via email, or they'll post something somewhere, and they'll say, hey, I got a few questions before I buy your thing. Now, I know you're one of the best in the market because you have the highest price. And then blah, 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 yada, yada. But stop right there, right? People in Amazon, for whatever reason, a majority of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, look at lower price products as inferior. And they look at higher price products as superior. And our only competitive advantage is we have a higher price.
That's awesome.
Our product might be better, but it might not be, okay? Might be better, but it might not be. Now, if we're selling something like a yoga mat, okay, what do we got to do? When they unwrap that thing and use it for the first time, as long as it doesn't fall apart, blow up, smell really bad, or, turn into a monster and try to kill them, right?
Right.
They're probably pretty happy, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
At the end of the day, I really don't care that we didn't spend the extra $10 in our profit margin to engineer a 3% extra enjoyment benefit, because I know that won't make me any money, even though it might supposedly make the product better, right? Cooking sheet. I have a gal that I've worked with who sold an amazing amount of cooking sheets on Amazon. You get the cookie sheet, as long as it doesn't fall apart, as long as it doesn't catch on fire when you put it in the oven, and as long as it doesn't stain and it looks nice, you're probably genuinely pretty satisfied, right?
Right.
We don't have to go to a remote Cayman island to extract a precious metal to make sure that this cooking sheet is the best cooking sheet in the whole damn world, right? So I'll tell you what, you will make less money doing that. So where do we win? We win because A, we price it higher. Okay, and we can change the price, and we can test what we like to call price elasticity. We always go as high as we possibly can, and if we sell it this high, we raise it until we hit that ceiling, and then we can lower it back down. So the price is our benefit. The other benefit that we have is the product positioning, and so the images go the longest way to that. But we get these 3D renderings as opposed to photos, and we pay a couple $100. Including the label, as we discussed already, and those look beautiful, and very few people, if any, actually do that in any given market. So we win in that regard. Our product looks more appealing to the eye at a glance, okay? The other thing we do is Amazon allows you on your product listing 5 bullet points. I want to read to you this. Now, keep in mind, this is a stainless steel trash can that's on already page 1, even with just 8 reviews, right? So they're brand new, didn't take much. They're in a market where nobody knows who they are, and they're on page 1. Let me read to you. And by the way, they're not even using fulfillment by Amazon, so you don't get free shipping. You don't get Prime shipping no matter what, and you have to wait 3 or 4 days to get this from some third-party vendor, right?
Right.
So that's another huge advantage. Just by being a Prime, just being fulfillment by Amazon, we appeal to all the Prime members. But let's just look at these bullet points. Bullet point number 1: space-saving stainless steel trash bin. Done.
Compelling and rich.
Bullet point number 2: perfect for your home or office. This is our competition, right? And these guys are not alone, because typically everybody's bullet points are like this. And so if we write better bullet points with more benefits, and where do we get those? I just read the other customer reviews, and I get an idea of what they really like in a trash can, what they want, and I use that same language. It's pretty simple. It's a formula.
Okay, so not other product descriptions, other people's reviews of the product.
I want to speak to the customer in the same language that they're using to buy, right?
Totally makes sense.
And unfortunately, like in internet marketing, it's very hard to do. Fortunately, in Amazon, it's very easy to do, because guess what? In any given product, I could read 500 reviews in a day if I wanted to. Now, I don't need to, okay? We read like 10 or 20, and that's what we put into our bullet points. So while these people are lucky to put in one benefit, we'll put in 5 benefits per bullet point, and we'll have 25 benefits by the time we're done just on bullet points. So
Right.
1 versus 25. Do you think that helps us sell product?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, now check this out. Here's the head. Here is the title in Amazon. Tramontina dash step can rectangular waste bin with freshener system dash 13 gallon. That's their title, right?
Mind blowing that they're on the first page. Seriously.
It really is, because they don't even have their main keyword in their title. Now, here's what's really cool. Google ranks based on keyword. That's part of their formula, right? Now, what's funny is Amazon does the same thing, but here's the deal with Amazon. It's very primitive how they measure keywords. They measure them in the title, and that's pretty much it. So if you keyword stuff or put a lot of really good keywords in the title, and you know how to find those keywords, we can rank for a variety of different search terms on Amazon for any given product. And of course, this person is doing none of that.
Yeah.
Okay. The worst thing that you can do is put your brand name as the title, and that's what they did here. Okay. Nobody's searching for Tramontina. Okay. And then the first thing, if you're going for stainless steel trash can, that should be the very first words. That should be the first phrase for your keyword title. Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's a variety of different methods. We won't be able to go through all of them today, but I know for a fact kitchen is, and I just did that in about 2 seconds just to do some keyword research on this. Kitchen is a massive keyword. And guess what? I'm looking at this. Nobody's putting kitchen in their titles. That's free traffic for us just by optimizing the title with these keywords, right? And
Right.
so we can put 15 to 20 different keywords in a title, and just that one little effort right there, we will beat 99% of the competition, right? Now here's
That's
the product
awesome.
description, by the way. The last thing to look at here. One big long paragraph, and that's it. And it's more of the same, you know. There's
Mm.
nothing great about this product description. So we were going to max out the product description. We'll use as many characters as they allow us. And we'll write a full-on sales letter here. And guess what happens? We win because we give them more information. We give them more benefits. We give them more description. We take more time with them to show them how great this thing is. Okay? We throw in a money-back guarantee, which, by the way, Amazon has anyway. So why don't we mention it and use it as a benefit? But nobody does that, right? And this is
Right.
how we win. We win because A, the price is higher, and customers like that. B, the images are better, and we just paid somebody to render some images for us on a site, right? C, our title is better, so we're showing up in more places, okay? And the more you show up, the more you show up. The more you start showing up and frequently bought together, which is Amazon doing automatic marketing for you. The more you show up with
That's right.
customers who bought this item also bought this, and that's automatic free marketing for you, right? And there's a variety of different other ways. We win by having better bullet points, right? We win by having a better product description. Now, here's the most important thing of all. We win by having better reviews. So there are ways, and this is all you need to do to get started. You need about 3 5-star reviews because they show the 3 most helpful reviews. So you get 3 5-star reviews, and that's really what you're going to have to figure out how to do on your own. Get 3 5-star reviews and get them verified Amazon purchased reviews, and now you are ready to go because the reviews will help you sell as well. And then over time, hopefully, you start more